starting in yin fish. It's a very open pose. So already feel yourself soften into it. And I said I was going to tell you a little story about how it's easier to magically let go of things than to get them to come to you. Which is kind of ironic because I don't know if you've noticed how hard it is often to let go. But a while ago, I think it was 2010, I I was gifted. I really needed a truck for a while. I had a bunch of shows, a bunch of obligations, places further away to go than walking would allow me to do, places to take large paintings. And it was a miracle. Oh, I just said it was hard, but someone actually gave me a truck, gifted me a truck. Now, you know how some gifts aren't as pretty as you think they should be, maybe? It was this amazingly ugly brown old truck. I mean, it wasn't just one kind of ugly brown, it had a couple ugly brown colors. So there was like a part that was replaced, but thankfully it had a beautiful sheepskin on the front seat. So it kind of made up for it. My wish to the universe was that I needed a truck for a little while. And then I had it for about 3 or 4 months. I was able to do some of the things that was needed to do, both things at the time I knew I needed to do and at the time I had no idea I needed. And one morning I went out to warm up my truck, though even though I lived in California, it was a sensitive little truck and it needed a little time before it was ready to go anywhere. And I sat in the truck and I was like, oh, I really should sell this, but I'm not going to get any money for it. I wish it were stolen because then I could, get insurance for it. But bummer, the only person I know who would know someone to steal it was in jail. So I was like, oh well. And I let that thought go. And I proceeded with my day. I went to go teach yoga and got home and parked my truck and proceeded with my other job, which was painting all afternoon. I went at some point to the convenience store to get something. And on my way home, I thought to myself, this is weird. I thought I parked my truck in front of my house. Well, as it turns out, my truck was stolen, which was one of the best things that happened to me. I got 4 times as much money for my truck as I ever would have selling it. And one of the keys that I really took away from that is this two sides where you really speak a wish, I mean nearly out loud, but you let go. You let go of it, like the importance of it happening. You let go of how you think things should be. Now let your upper body come down to the ground. Take one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. And maybe even think about a wish that you have. Wishing it sincerely and then letting it go. letting yourself sink back into trust. Faith in the goodness and the magic in your world of ideas and imagination. And then hug your knees up to your chest and maybe lift up your face and kiss your knees good morning. Yay! And then rock up, and maybe you have enough momentum to balance for a moment. Ta-da! And then rock back and see if you have enough momentum to jump back into chaturanga and come into yeah, that was beautiful. Nice. And come into Sphinx. Nice. So Sphinx is such a noble creature, it seems. But I would imagine that a Sphinx is very graceful too, because the Sphinx has the body of a lion. It's also got wings, which are totally handy. And the face of a human. And the tail of a bull. Now, I don't know how many cows you hang out with, but I've noticed living on a farm how it's often when they're releasing things too, how expressive the tail is. Like the whole spine of the cow moves and the tail moves. It's amazing, actually. So feel the heaviness of your bones, the minerals in your body. Maybe try to feel the movement of your blood, the beat of your heart. I am black as the night from which the light of a new day descends. I am past, present, and future. I am the anointed of heaven. I am what I am. I am the blended colors of life that light the bridge into the new age. I am seed, plant, and flower. I am the anointed of earth. I am that I am. I'm going to read it again. This is anonymous, written down in the book by Orland Bishop called The Seventh Shrine. I am black as the night from which the light of a new day descends. I am past, present, and future. I am the anointed of heaven. I am what I am. I am the blended colors of life that light the bridge into the new age. I am seed, plant, and flower. I am the anointed of earth. I am that I am. So the first part, for me, this I am black as the night is true for every living human being. Because when you close your eyes and look for the world inside of you, it's dark. Just like it's dark for any planet, for any star. I wonder if the sun notices that it's dark too. This verse talks about the duality of us. And that each one of us is trying to reconcile this celestial, infinite, eternal being with being on earth in the cycles of life and death and growth and decay. Allow yourself to gently roll down to the ground. Wiggle, groan, moan. Oh. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Push your hips back to your heels. Come into child's pose. And take a moment to personalize your practice. What do you want to let go of as we started, but also what do you want to invite in? And then what are you here to give? And just roll up your chest, blow your whole upper body really. Bring your hands to heart center. And we're going to do open heart mudra really. You can imagine this is like a flower or a cup, but this openness to receive. And you feel that this opening actually takes effort. Close your eyes and allow your attention to move to listening as well as making the Om, so we don't just hear our voice, but we hear other people's voices as well. Empty your breath, take a deep inhale. Lift up the corners of your mouth, drop your hands, and find your way to downward facing dog. Maybe wiggle and dance your dog a little bit. Welcome the movement. Inhale, lift up your right leg, shake out your right leg. See if you can get all the fat on your leg to jiggle a little bit. Yeah. And then stretch your leg long, bend your knee, let your hip spin open. Keeping both your hands down flat. And then with your exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow, feeling your belly lift up. So our whole practice is about abdominals, about allowing our upper body and our lower body to go together well. Inhale, stretch your right leg long, and with your exhale, relax your right leg. Inhale, reach your left leg long. Wiggle it out, shake it out, jiggle your fat. See how much you can move it. Nice. And then bend your knee and let your hips spin open. Feel your heart still dedicated to shining down to the ground. And then with your exhale, bring your left knee to touch your right elbow. And if it's easy, you work on getting your knee higher. It's not easy for me. Is it easy for you? Yeah. Exactly. Whew. And then inhale, stretch your left leg long. And with your exhale, walk your feet in between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Glide your chest forward. Exhale, release and bow down. Push down with your feet, roll up to the sky, stretch up tall. And with your exhale, Samastitihi. At the end of your exhale, you drop your hands. Inhale, reach your arms up tall, lift up, look up, little back bend. And exhale, bow down, let your head drop. Inhale, halfway lift, step back to plank. And let's take a couple breaths here. So you want to feel that you not only engage your abdominal muscles, you want to lift up in between your shoulder blades. And you want to be looking a little bit forward so your spine's extending. Lift up right here. Yeah. Now shift your whole body forward to your tippy toes and then drop your knees, chest, and chin. Ashtanga Namaskar. Inchworm Asana. Slide forward, come into low cobra. Feel your toenails on the ground. Even see if you can stretch your toes out so your pinky toe comes onto the ground. Yeah. Lift up a little higher. Oh, why were you holding back? And then exhale, downward facing dog. Let your head hang and relax. Let your heels drop. Trying to invite your Ujjayi breath in. So we sound a little bit like enlightened Darth Vader. There's actually pictures on the internet if you're not sure. Take another full inhale. Let your breath fuel you. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward. And as you breathe in, hop your feet in between your hands. Lift up, halfway lift. Exhale, release, and bow down. Let your head drop. Push down with your feet. Roll up to the sky. Push down to the earth to lift up tall to the heavens. And with your exhale, Samastitihi. Letting your hands go at the end of your breath. Inhale. Oh, yeah. Thank goodness you got that. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel your abdominals. Engage them and step back to plank. And this time, after you feel the power and strength in your body, shift your body forward and lower down just halfway, looking forward. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So just notice for yourself. Are you able to do Chaturanga today? If not, whenever I say Chaturanga, you can do Ashtanga Namaskar, which is that inchworm asana. Are you able to do upward facing dog with your thighs floating above the ground today? If your legs are heavy today and you need to keep your legs on the ground, always practice low cobra with your legs on the ground. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward, and as you hop forward, float your feet in between your hands. Halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow down. Push down with your feet, roll up to the sky, stretch taller than you've been all morning. Exhale, Samastitihi. Now bend your knees, drop your hips, inhale, Utkatasana. Now shift your weight back to your heels, let your knees slide back. Stretch your arms long, so you want to feel like they're helping themselves. And then see where your abdominals are. Notice where you get stronger in the center here. How can you play with your weight? Do you need to drop your thighs down lower? Do you need to lift your heart more? Do you need to smile? I'm sure that's tied into your abdominals. Moving for a joyful practice. Take another full inhale. Radiate through your fingertips. And then exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And then either jump to chaturanga or step to plank and exhale, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, thighs floating. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. And with your exhale, step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Spin your left heel down. One breath, warrior one. Stretch up tall. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, breathing through your nose, stretch your left leg long. Exhale, step it forward, spin your right heel down, warrior one. It's okay if you get there first. Stretch your arms up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Close your eyes for a moment and feel the weight in both your hands and your feet. You want the weight equally distributed? So we want to feel that we're actually helping build the fire, which doesn't always feel so comfortable. But to feel our participation gives us a little bit more ground in it. A little bit more, this is happening for me instead of this is happening to me. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward, walk or float your feet in between your hands and lift up, halfway lift. Flat back, lots of heart. Yes. Relax your mouth. Exhale, release and bow down. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, open arm twist to your right. Inhale up to center with your exhale, open arm twist to your left. Inhale up to center, exhale, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, nice. Upward facing dog, stretch your big toes back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky and bend your knee and let your hips spin open. Take a full breath here. Take another inhale, and on your exhale, take your right knee to touch your left elbow. Lift it high. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb. Lift up, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Inhale here, and then exhale, chaturanga. Windmill your hands either side of your foot. Lift your right leg quietly. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your left leg long. Bend your knee. Let your hips spin open on the exhale. Take a full inhale. A full exhale. Inhale, lengthen your left leg long. And with your exhale, bring your left knee to touch your right elbow. Inhale, stretch your leg long. Exhale, step your foot forward. Rise up. Warrior one. Open up. Warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, sweet chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, bringing your breath back to your breathing through your nose. You have your abdominals slightly contracted, this Uddiyana Bandha. So in Ashtanga practice, the Uddiyana Bandha, which you can think of as about 2 to 3 fingers below your belly button, you bring your attention there and you pull slightly in. And in Ashtanga Yoga, they talk about how this is your flying mechanism. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward. Walk or float your feet forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, release, and bow down. It's now 7:33. Bend your knees. Drop your hips. Inhale. Utkatasana. Exhale. Open arm twist to your right. Inhale up to center. Exhale. Open arm twist to your left. Inhale up to center. Exhale. Bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk or float. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knee, let your hips spin open. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. And then exhale, take your right knee, left elbow. Inhale, stretch your right leg long. Exhale, step your right foot forward. Rise up, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. You know where you're going. Inhale, stretch your left leg up. Bend your knee, let your hips spin open on the exhale. Inhale, lengthen your left leg. Exhale, bring your left knee to touch your right elbow. Inhale, stretch your left leg long. Exhale, step your foot forward, rise up, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, chaturanga. Imagine, what would a celestial being be fighting for? Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, and with your exhale, just make some, maybe your favorite animal noise. I don't even know what animal that was. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Feel your heat that you're producing for your becoming. Take another full inhale. Empty your breath all the way. Look forward. Float your feet in between your hands and lift up, halfway lift. Nice. Exhale, release and bow down. Bend your knees, drop your hips. Inhale, Utkatasana. And with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center and then twist to your right. Let your left elbow come to the outside of your right knee. Perfect. Now, you want to pray like you really mean it. So if you're more like punk rock, you can make your bottom hand a fist and push down on it. Different kind of prayer. Yeah? Beautiful. Now, you're going to keep your left elbow to the outside of your right knee and just lift up your heels and bring your hands down to the ground. When you're just starting out, you can use your right elbow as a training wheel. Pull it into your hip. Then bend your elbows and see if you can lift up your feet. If it's easy for you, feel free to straighten your legs to the front of the room. Nice. And then come back down. Beautiful. And however you want to get there, we're going to come to goddess pose. Oh, no. Yeah. Feel the fire burning. Feel your hips opening, your pelvis dropping, like aiming for the earth. You know, we can maybe imagine, oh, how awkward. We can maybe imagine how the celestial heavens or the cosmos might be like our Father. Not our Father, but our Father. And the earth is like our mother. So we want to find ourselves in between these two forces. All right, remember there's a whole new side. Inhale, interlace your fingers, stretch up tall, do a little back bend. And with your exhale, step your feet together. And then inhale, stretch your arms up, Utkatasana. And then with your exhale, bring your hands to heart center and twist to your left. So feel that even when you don't make a fist, you can really rely on yourself. Push down on your hand to lift your heart. Let your butt drop down. Gently encourage your right knee to slide back so your hips square. Back, not forward. And then let your heels lift up. Bend down, keeping your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Maybe pulling your left elbow in as a training wheel. Bend your elbows, and you create a little arm rest, like chaturanga arms. And then play with it. It's all good. Yeah. Nice. And then come back down and find your way to goddess pose. Let your heart be lifting up, your shoulders dropping down. Engage your root lock, your Uddiyana Bandha. And then a nice way to get to the floor is Titibhasana. So try to wiggle your shoulders underneath your thighs. And then you put your hands on the ground and whoopsies, really slippery leggings. Lift up your butt and you maybe gracefully fell to the ground. Nice. And then, oh yeah, this is good. We're going to do a little abdominals here as we come down. So imagine you're stirring a big pot. And then what you usually don't do when you're stirring a big pot is lie down with it. Oh yeah. Oh, it gets really tough down there, huh? Nice. And then lay on the ground. Bend your knees. Reach your hands along the length of your body. Let your middle fingers just touch the back of your heels. Spin your toes in and inhale, lift up your hips. And then exhale, roll them back down. Inhale, lift up your hips again. Feel your feet motivating the movement. And then exhale, roll them back down. And then inhale, roll them up. And keep lifting up. Maybe shimmy your arms underneath. Breathe into it. It's probably after you, not me. Allow your effort to be embraced. You know, often I say, move into your creativity than obedience. Another way to say the same thing is elevate your obedience. Be obedient to something higher than yourself, or maybe higher than just our needs for survival or comfort or the feels, drama. And then release your hands and roll down one vertebrae at a time. Take a full breath in, and with your exhale, just sigh out. Inhale, lift up your hips. breathe into it. Be creative. And then roll down one vertebrae at a time. And now that you're warm and ready for a real practice, inhale, lift up your hips, and maybe come all the way into wheel. Or come back into bridge. So you want to feel that magic actually happens between things. Often it's between two people. And they may or may not know it about each other. I don't know if I knew the person who took my car, but it was such a gift to me. I hope it was a gift to them too. But there's something magical that is available between human beings that changes the whole world. Breathe into your magnificence, your radiance, and such beautiful bridges, wheels, and slowly come down. Fantastic. And now stretch your legs long just as a release. It's a neutral position, but after a back bend, it feels like something different. And then wrap your thumbs with your fingers and with your elbows close by your sides. You're going to cheer on. Yes, I'm awesome. Yes, I'm awesome. Bitches. No, you're so awesome. You're so awesome. That's a much more fun cheer, actually. More effective. And then shake out your fingers, shake out your hands. Sparkle magic. And then relax down for a moment and feel the vibrancy and the movement in your hands even after they're still. And my beautiful sister Brenna reminds me, do more abdominals. So, one fun abdominals we can do right now. I want you to roll up and touch your toes. So, you're going to stretch your arms over your head, and with your inhale, lift up, touch your toes. We're going for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then stop kicking things. And on your 6th one, see if maybe you can actually catch yourself there. Yeah. Pull your belly in. Lift up your heart. More heart, more heart, more heart. Yes. It's like you want to have the guts to have an open heart. And the guts here is strong belly. And then, as we are so dainty and wonderful and little ballerinas, little crisscross as you lower down. Low boat. And lie down on the ground. Take another full inhale. With your exhale, sigh out some good stuff. And then bend your knees again. Yeah, I really meant it. And slowly bring your knees, drop them to your left. You want to make sure your knees are as high as your hips. And then bring your hands to your ears. Squeeze your legs together and pulse up to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then relax down. And bring your knees to the other side. You don't want to walk around with one strong side of abdominals. And then squeeze your legs and pulse up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release back down. And then slide your knees back to the left-hand side. Roll them over. And come into a twist here, allowing your left hand to hold on to your knees. Stretch your right arm out to the right. If we imagine that all of the things that create fire in our biography are also from our own making. Our own invitation. And just what you need to become who you can become. This individuality you have here. It really is like no other. And then bring your knees back to center and slowly drop your knees to the right hand side. Take a full breath in, and with your exhale, sigh out. Ah. So often when we're free, we don't believe it. Like when we're free to be ourselves, we don't quite buy it. We think all these different things are in our way, perhaps, or that it couldn't be true, that we get to be free and be who we're supposed to be. But if you imagine that we are part of nature instead of above it or beyond it or on it, there's no waste in nature. If we imagine the divine's creation is without unnecessary parts, that includes us. Now, come back to center. And you can either do this in the middle of the room, or you can do it against the wall. But we're going to come, and you guys might really enjoy doing it against the wall. We're going to come first up to Viparita Karani, and then we're going to open up our legs for the final pose. So you want to come up to a wall, or not. You can do this in the middle of the room too. Stretch your legs up for a couple of breaths, and then we're going to drop our legs down to the sides. And you can do this in the middle of the room. You can also do this with a block underneath your hips, which at home you can always use books. I don't know, cereal boxes, something else that works. So stretch your legs up first, then wiggle your butt as close to the wall as you can. Beautiful. And then stretch your legs straight out. Straddle your legs. can bring your hands to your belly. Or you can stretch your arms out to the sides, finishing nearly like quite opening pose, just like we started. And let's revisit this anonymous verse. I am black as the night from which the light of a new day descends. I am past, present, and future. I am the anointed of heaven. I am what I am. I am the blended colors of life that light the bridge into the new age. I am seed, plant, and flower. I am the anointed of earth. I am that I am. Anonymous verse. So as our world is cold and dark, how can you be the sun in our dark night? A source of light for all those you meet. And if you're up against the wall, maybe you have to help your legs come back together. Maybe you wiggle around and push away from the wall and find your way back into the center of the room or wherever you want for Shavasana, the corpse pose. But you'll find that if you lie, that us humans affect us humans a lot. So if we're going to lie, we want to actually really lie in the same way. And then the rhythms of our body actually enhance and help the rhythms of your neighbor's body. Cover yourself up with a blanket. Maybe you want to use something to cover your eyes. Let your body be held by the ground below you. Palms open to receive. And see how heavy you can be with keeping your attention here, your most precious, glorious attention. Here in the room, but even here in your body. With your next inhale, invite your breath to the edges of your body. Feel your awareness carried on your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe smile. Wiggle your nose. Stretch your arms up over your head, reach your body long, and then with your exhale, curl into a ball and roll onto your right hand side. Every day has new beginnings, new endings. Seed, plant, and flower. Help yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Allow your hands to meet at heart center. So this prayer mudra, it's a symbol of our spiritual selves or our celestial selves meeting our physical selves, bridged by our heart. Let's close with one final Om. Empty your breath. Take a deep inhale. Bring your prayer hands to your third eye. Be the divine light. And as we bow forward, together we say, Namaste. And then make a little bit of noise. Woo! Yeah! Oh, and like 2 seconds ago, it was snowing quite heavy. Yeah, but it started. Yeah, yeah.